you see before you is Audacity, a free voice and music capture software found at audacity.sourceforge.net. We're going to use this software to record our podcast. We're going to record our voice and then add some music, and then our podcast will be ready for posting on the internet. Before I start, make certain that this drop-down menu reads microphone. Then, of course, you will have to have a microphone hooked up to a computer for your students to use to record their stories. Then when they start recording, they will click on this red circle. So I'm going to click on that and then read a little bit of our story, The Ocean. The Ocean by Brent Falke. Have you ever seen the ocean? My family once traveled to Mississippi, where we spent a very fun day at the beach. I had never touched the ocean before, so I was very excited to go. When I first viewed it, I could not believe how bright blue and big it was. The waves leaped as tall as me. I could not wait to leap into the water, but before I made it to the ocean, I spotted all sorts of shells. My sister and I decided to have a contest to determine who could find the most shells. She won. And then to stop, I simply click on the yellow square. Now I can listen to what we've done by clicking on the green play arrow. The Ocean by Brent Falke. Have you ever seen the ocean? My family once traveled to Mississippi, where we spent a very fun day at the... And that sounds pretty good. I think we're ready to add some music. To add music, go up to Project, Import Audio, and we're going to put in some Beethoven. Notice that it ends in .mp3. You'll want to make sure that you put in an MP3 file for the music. And there are plenty of music websites where you can find copyright-free and public domain music listed on the Digitally Literate website. And when the music loads, you'll notice two things. One, it's a whole lot longer than my voice portion. Also, our volume is the same. Now, if we played this, the music would be right now competing with my voice. So, of course, I'm going to turn down the music quite a bit. But I still have this problem of when my voice stops, I have about another 5.5 minutes of music. So to fix that, I line up about where my voice ends, and I click once, and I get this little hand. Now I hold down the mouse and drag that hand all the way to the end of the music. And to get rid of the rest of it, I simply click or hit on the keyboard delete. So now my music pretty much lines up with my voice. So let's listen to it. The Ocean by Brent Falke. Have you ever seen the ocean? My family once traveled to Mississippi, where we spent a very fun day at the beach. I had never touched the ocean before, so I was very excited to go. When I first viewed it, I could not believe how bright blue and big it was. The waves leaped as tall as me. I could not wait to leap into the water, but before I made it to the ocean, I spotted all sorts of shells. Beethoven might not have been the best choice for that, but for our purposes it works. There's one last thing that I want to show you in Audacity, and then you are ready to make your own podcast. First, I'm going to select just a little bit of the beginning of the music. And then I'm going to go up to Effect. And I want to fade in my music. Same thing at the end. I'm going to select just a little bit at the end. And I want to fade out my music. So now it gives a nice little fade in and a fade out at the end. So now our podcast is ready to be saved and ready for loading onto a website. And to save it, I go to File, Export as MP3. Now, in order to do this, you'll first have to download what's called a LAME adapter, L-A-M-E. And that link is also on the Digitally Literate website, on the Publish page. So I click Export as MP3, and I click OK. And I'm going to save this as the ocean.mp3, and I'll click Save. And now this is the neat thing. It'll also let me put in the title and the artist, the album. I don't have an album. I don't know who would buy it. A track number, I don't have that. But I will put title, The Ocean by me, and click OK. And now it is building my MP3, and I will post that MP3 onto a web page. One thing I do want you to keep in mind is that really the possibilities for a podcast are endless. We did a story. Students could read their poems. They could interview each other. Students could come up with a free flow of ideas. There's really an endless possibility. But a podcast using Audacity is quite simple.